I last night was probably the first good night's rest I've had in a while, so
I can't really classify it for myself as good rest, but I got rest.
that's good.
There's I have to a live chat and it says waiting on post song for Final Jeopardy starts playing in my head. Because your head knows how to keep you entertained. What is up, Remy Q? How's it going, Scott? That's crazy. The second that I hit the live button, a couple people popping here. I was just telling Ryan that definitely off my schedule today. Uh, kind of had a mild injury at work yesterday. Kind of jacked my finger up really bad, and I kind of took some medicine and went to sleep and woke up a few times on and off throughout the night. So I didn't try to push myself to get up early this morning, and but yet here we are. Good morning to Scott. Good morning to Remy Q Studios. Hope y'all are having a good day today. It's Friday, so for me, it's the other half of New Comic Book Day. It's Falcon and Winter Soldier Day. It's Invincible Day. It's a good day. Greg is up, man. I don't know why I don't. I need to start. I need to reach out to you, Greg, and see what kind of schedule you work on. See when you can hop on here and talk some books with us, man. I know that the bearded comic bro is DC savvy as well.
hmm
So there's
He's a Batman aficionado, man.
yeah. So there's a lot of great conversation that we just haven't had yet that are waiting on us to have them. But yeah, I haven't watched Invincible yet today, like I normally would. I always watch Falcon and Winter Soldier first, and Invincible next, for no specific reasons. That's just the way it goes. And the Falcon and Winter Soldier finale, it didn't blow me. It didn't blow my mind. I don't think I expected it to blow my mind, but it checked off the boxes. It was good. There was a there was one thing that I was expecting that they would handle it a certain way, but they handled it the right way. So I was happy about that. I'm glad that this character might not get crapped on so hard moving forward.
Yeah,
Who's shouting at you?
I've been listening to like I think yesterday and the day before there was quite a few podcasts that came out with their previous episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier coverage, and so listening to those over the week has really honestly kind of tempered my expectations for the finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Just because, like, the more I listen to other people talk about everything that's been running through the series, it has like gotten better with each episode. They were even pretty successful at connecting back to that first episode that people were pretty lukewarm on. But there's kind of a lack of character growth in Bucky. And then at the end of this most previous episode, they kind of go their own separate ways. And so, you know, trying to predict what's going to happen in the finale, yeah, it sounds like it's going to be kind of lackluster because it hasn't really built toward a specific, like, monumental moment to end everything with.
Without going into any spoilers, and we definitely talked about this already, but you remember last week when we said that that last episode really took care of all the plot threads that they had been working on and everything.
Yeah.
Or all that really leaves for the last episode is a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So if yeah, we weren't really off base with that. Of course, you're gonna do a little bit checking in on characters here or there, but it was very obvious. Like we talked about it already. They made sure
Yeah.
to kind of build into all that and handle everything that needed to be handled that last
Yeah, they
that
cleaned it
last
all up
episode.
so it can
Yeah,
just be like one final fight. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because they
And
got 45 minutes to do a fight and wrap it up. So there's
yeah,
really not a lot of extra space in there for anything else.
and one thing I did learn when I was watching it, because like when it comes to the fighting and like it's exciting to watch how they do the fighting, how good like some of the CGI is and stuff, and the
Mm-hmm.
choreography and everything. Uh, when it comes to the street level people, there's only so much you can do anymore because like the bar's been set so high. So when you're just doing like fist fighting or someone like Falcon, his shtick is he can fly with these wings. So what can you do that's really impressive with him? You can make him turn really fast. You can make him open and close his wings, and you can only do that so many times before you're not even noticing that. Oh, that was impressive, or it's just repetitive. but it was. I'm not knocking it or anything. It was just something that I was noticing. Like, okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I really like the choreography they gave him in the fight with John Walker. You know, when him and Bucky fight John
Yes,
Walker, the
and I
the
think a
Falcons
lot of that was
choreography
better.
in there was really good.
Yeah, I think a lot of that with the John Walker fight as well was just like how personal that fight was. Like
Yeah,
a lot of my excitement that went into that, it wasn't like, oh, like did you see that he flip kicked him? No, it was literally just the anticipation of who's going to walk away from this, who's going to limp away from
yeah,
this. It was literally the emotional and story attachment to that moment, to that fight.
yeah, yeah. It was cool though. I thought they did much better in that fight with him than Bucky.
Maybe
Like
we get a
Bucky's
little on.
choreography in this whole show has been kind of
Yeah, they now and see you being a big Winter Soldier movie fan, like the way that Bucky was handled in Winter Soldier and Civil War, the dude is a straight beast like he's supposed to be. Like he is tough as nails, and they haven't really given him that same drive or that same ferocity in this series. So I guess it can only be chalked up to the fact that like Bucky is in charge of Bucky. It's not like some primal mindset just on autopilot. You know what I mean? So
well.
I think we're
Where
not
it
going to
kind of
see a
gets
Bucky on that level anymore moving forward. I think we have the new like this is Bucky. This is his level, his capability.
well, then they might as well get rid of him. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of frustrating to me because in some ways the show reminds me of like Green Arrow, Green Lantern, where one of the characters has to be incredibly nerfed in order to make the other one exist.
Yeah.
Except for they didn't do that to the bad guys. Like that's what makes no sense to me. Is like here come the Flag Smashers, as strong as Bucky was. You got John Walker in there, as strong as Bucky was, and then. Remy, what time is it in China?
Are we
Nutter,
are we
Nutter
talking
Butter
about
for your thoughts.
Invincible yet, or are you still talking about that Winter Soldier thing? Because I'll come back. I mean, I got plenty of snacks.
Breakfast of Champions.
Right?
I don't know if you caught the beginning, but I haven't had the opportunity to watch Invincible for today yet.
Oh, I could.
Uh-oh. His ice
Oh,
cream froze the stream.
yeah. How cold is your ice cream? Say again, Jeremy. You froze up.
I said if you want, I can just not talk to you for 24 hours, and then we'll pick this up tomorrow sometime.
Yeah, I'll be watching it here soon. You won't have to wait that long. But this is a spoiler free chat anyways. If you've watched it and you want to share your spoiler free thoughts on it, that'd be perfectly fine.
I don't want to derail you. It's the best thing that
Was
TV
it
has
better
to
than
offer.
last week's episode?
I'm going with mom to go pick out flowers.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
So since we're going to Walmart, I will
That's the only thing. I hope Invincible's better than last week's episode. That one was kind of weak.
Yeah. Last night I jumped on immediately. So
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Like it was just a ton of setup, Which I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about it, and like all the stuff at that school with the guy making robots and all that. Apparently, that's like a whole arc in the comic books. Like that whole thing plays out for a long time in the background, but they just did it in one episode here.
it was good. It's the best thing that TV has to offer. I mean, that other show's okay, but Invincible's where it's at.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I agree with that.
How's everything else going this morning?
Not bad.
So good.
Not bad. I'm milking an injured hand. I feel all boo-hoo, pity on me.
And like that, thing's going.
We're kind of getting the day scheduled out. Looks like the wife and kids are gonna be going to pick up some flowers, and we're gonna be making like right outside our front door. There's like this little patch of good grass. I'm like, dude, this is some nice grass. We should dig it up. So we're going to do the small amount of good grass to stay consistent. We have a lot of pine
This
trees
looks
and
better
stuff.
than the rest of the grass, so we're gonna get rid of the good grass.
So I'm thinking, we're going to get rid of it and just let the kids put a little bitty like flower bed kind of thing, with zero expectations. When it goes south, we'll just get some pinwheels to stick in it.
Yeah,
Look,
right.
did it. That's what we did for Easter. We let Finn plant some jelly beans, and the next morning he saw where the pinwheels grew out of it. I'd never heard of that, but my wife came up with that idea, and he was ecstatic about it. So if it goes south, we'll just plant more jelly beans.
There you go.
Yeah. Wait, here we go. Mighty Ducks is the best show on there. Come at me. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say it was good, and I heard Greg explain with Cobra Kai, especially if you enjoy the Karate Kid, if you grew up with it, if you already had like a love for it, it just makes it even better. So, the Mighty Ducks is like the next generation of kids. Like whoever was 8 years old when Karate Kid came out, it's like the very next generation that was 8 years old when Mighty Ducks came out. So that's like hitting on that next generation. So I think I would enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, I remember watching Mighty Ducks as a kid. Like, it was a thing, but I don't know. Some of the neighborhood kids were into it a lot more than me.
Yeah, I just remember that kid. I think it was in the second one, even when he turns the puck sideways and smashes it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but Cobra Kai, like, that's the weirdest thing because my wife, like, she don't really care about TV, movies, like, no media, like, not really her thing, And Karate Kid, like, she had seen it, but she didn't, like, grow up on it or anything. But she is so hardcore about Cobra Kai. Like, it's crazy. She saw that news drop yesterday that Netflix is, they're promising the next season of Cobra Kai by the end of this year. And
Nice.
she's been on, like, cloud 9 since then. Like, holy crap.
And I think they've done an interesting thing with it is intentionally not worrying about, and like this might sound crazy, but they don't really stress production value with it. Like
No.
it's not fancy shot, it's not flashy. They if something
And it's honestly
kind
not
of bland
great
or the
acting.
delivery, about to say if something comes off bland or the delivery isn't very good with the lines, they don't care. They're like, roll it. That's perfect.
Yeah, they
And
just
I think
carry
that's
the
what
spirit.
appeals. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what appeals. There it is, the knuckle punch. Thank you, Louie. And thoughts on the MODOK series coming to Hulu? I don't have any. Zero thoughts on it. I mean, I've heard it mentioned a couple of times, and a big head with little arms can't really carry a show, and he's kind of attached to AIM and a lot of stuff. So I'm assuming it'll just be I don't know.
I heard.
I don't care about Hulu in general.
I have Hulu because they give it to us with Sprint, but and I like some of their stuff. Solar Opposites is amazing. But as far as MODOK, I'm actually pretty excited for it. I love Patton Oswalt. The guy can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned.
Is he playing MODOK?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's kind of a workplace stuff, like I don't know, I guess kind of if you took The Office and Modern Family and like put it together, because it's him working at AIM and stuff in the office, so you get like the office drama, but then it's also like the big schism between his life at work and his life at home, and so you get kind of like Modern Family kind of stuff out of the home side of it. One of the writers was on Off Panel this week, and he was talking about it, and he got me pretty excited for it because they were given kind of a no holds barred approach. So like Iron Man shows up in it. I think he's even in the trailer for it. Like they have full access to the universe,
Have they done a trailer for it already? Like I'm so far behind on the MODOK Hulu original TV show news. It's crazy.
Yeah, because I heard him talking about it. He mentioned like Tony Stark appears in this first season. And I think they have a couple of other appearances lined up. And I want to say John Hamm plays Tony Stark in this. But
that's a weird direction to take.
But then like a day or two later, I heard somebody else on a podcast say they had watched the trailer and they were surprised to see Iron Man in the trailer. So apparently they already
cartoon show.
Yeah, it's like animated and stuff.
It looks like a Lego thing almost. Like the
yeah.
The animation is very, very odd.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I don't know that I'm gonna watch it the moment it drops. Like I'm not sitting around waiting for it, but I am kind of excited to check it out and see what they do with it.
Dude, this looks like if you took Tim Burton animation style with the stop motion and you mixed it with like the Christmas Rudolph movie. This looks like it could be pretty hilarious. I think this is going to intentionally be hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of excited for this now.
And Wonder Man is banging MODOK's wife.
No.
Yeah, like it's got like family drama and workplace drama, like all in one show and stuff. It's supposed to be really good.
Got a divorce agreement. God, their poor little legs hanging out. Just all limp looking and stuff. Okay, so this is going to be hilarious. So I thought it was supposed to be like just a live action show.
I do wonder like what that is going to mean for like the MCU and stuff, in the sense that it feels like Disney's really been trying to condense everything down to like the streamlined MCU approach, but then they turn around and have this MODOK show come out on Netflix. So I wonder what the game plan is as far as like the franchise goes with all that.
It's odd seeing them allowing new content to go off of Disney Plus.
Do what?
It's odd seeing them letting new content pop up outside of Disney Plus.
Yeah, because they had like the Marvel Netflix stuff. They had some of the stuff that Fox was already doing, and they like pulled all of this stuff. Like they've taken everything and tried to condense it as much as possible down to Disney Plus. So it almost seems weird that all of a sudden now they're like, well, let's put a show on Hulu that's not connected. It's kind of weird, but as adults, I think we can comprehend.
I did just see an announcement where all the Sony Spider-Man stuff is finally coming to Disney Plus to watch. Where I guess they had an agreement to throw it on there for the viewers.
Which I'm not really into, but that's fine.
Well, just the fact of them like getting it on there is something. I'm one of those people that I'm very excited. The fact that Disney doesn't hold 100% rights to Spider-Man movies and stuff. I like it. Yeah. Still being pulled away from that. Because like,
I'm 100% in that camp. That's why I'm not that keen on them getting all of the old Spider-Man stuff on Disney Plus, because I would like to see Sony like actually grow a backbone and stand up to Marvel. Like, I like the Marvel stuff, but whenever they control like literally all the media that comes out anymore, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Look at all the issues with Deadpool 3. When am I getting my next Alien movie? When are these things happening? When is Disney going to say, okay, we'll put an R on a movie?
They're supposed to with Deadpool. At least they said they would.
But they said they would, but there's been a lot of issues between them and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, I didn't know that. When you go back and listen to Stan Lee talk about like people, like when people would ask him, what do you think about these people using your Spider-Man and making it, then he would love stuff like that. He loves seeing his characters that are Marvel characters where their stories exist be taken and used in countless stories in countless different ways by different people all over the place. Like that was like a cool thing about these characters is just watching people who also enjoy them make their style, their version, their content of it,
Yeah, aside from like the big like PTSD movement, it's really cool to see some of the things that different writers and creators pull out of a character. They'll find these like really unique angles that totally make sense, but we've been overlooking it for years, and they find a new aspect to the character. Oh no, in general, like the entire comic book market is flooded by PTSD stories. Tom King's just like the champion of it all,
Jeremy, what are you reading right now, or what books are you kind of actively chasing? Not necessarily new ones.
I've been putting a lot of focus on this show called Invincible. It's the best thing on TV, best thing TV has to offer. I actually didn't know if you guys were going to start watching it now or if I should check back in the next 24 hours and we can pick up there. I got plenty of snacks.
What did you think of the last episode?
No, for real. I'm gonna jump off though. I'll watch y'all. That way, so people don't have to watch me just sit here and eat and enjoy the conversation that I have nothing to do with other than Invincible. So it's a great show. I hope everybody enjoyed it who watched it. If you haven't watched it, make sure you go watch it. It's the best thing that TV has to offer. And I'll talk to anybody about it in the next 24 hours. I've got plenty of snacks. You guys are awesome. I love you.
You have a good one.
We love you too, Remy Q.
Where to go from there?
I agree with Freaky Louie there.
Only Sony could have made it into the Spider-Verse. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the new Spider-Man movie? What is it? No Way Home? Is that the name of it?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, everything about this movie thus far tells me, like, don't have complete faith in it. But I also know that they pull some crazy stuff off and they make it work. But just the concept that there's like 9 million people in this movie makes no sense. And I'm afraid we're about to end up with Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 all over again.
I'm kind of thinking about how CW did the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and everyone was so hyped over the all the appearances that were going to be happening from all these different actors and stuff they were bringing in and all these different universes, but they didn't do anything with them. All they literally did was put them on screen and had nothing to do with them, you know. With this many characters, there's only so much time, especially in a movie versus a TV show. What are you really going to do with them other than hold them up like a trophy, then put them back on the shelf?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think one of the big awakening moments was Ready Player One. The book was okay. I wasn't blown away by it, like a lot of people, but it was okay. But the movie, it proved that Steven Spielberg understood that millennials like references. It also proved that he doesn't understand why they like references, because he specifically expected to sell the movie on the fact that, like, you know, all these characters are just moving through the background and stuff. It made no sense. Like, they're all there. It's just like empty and useless, you know? And then they would have these moments where, like, you know, the guy would ride by on a motorcycle and they'd be like, oh, that's Akira's motorcycle from so-and-so, blah, 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 and like rattle off all this information. It's like, you're stupid. Like, the entire way that should have been handled is it drives by and everybody in the audience that liked Akira is going to go, that's Akira's motorcycle. That's so awesome. But when you have a character explain it to the audience, it completely destroys the reference, you know?
The Iron Giant.
Yeah, you know, like, and I feel like that's where these Spider-Man movies are going to mess up, is they're going to have all these characters and they're either just going to be background fodder that we get nothing out of, or they're going to spend all this time trying to explain things that we don't need explained, you know?
And Ready Player One was definitely fun. The movie itself felt hollow. I think that movie didn't have just any,
completely hollow.
Yeah, it didn't have any. You didn't feel connected to the characters at all. Mm-hmm. I think that if they would have spent this, they should have spent more time in the real world. Like, I mean, even though like the most visually appeasing part was when you weren't in the real world, but seeing the stacks and everything and where they lived and like getting an idea of the actual struggle and everything that they were going through would have given some weight to the escapism of going inside.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle bringing all these characters and mixing them all in and the multiverse and all that. Like, it all sounds like a great idea. I'm just afraid we're going to end up with a whole bunch of nothing.
You're stupid.
It made no sense to me that Spielberg, you know, it was in the news forever how much time he spent getting the rights to all those properties so they could appear. And it was like, we got nothing of value out of most of those appearances. It's like, just put them in the background. People will love it. Well, yeah, it looked cool, but it meant nothing.
And Mortal Kombat is out.
That's out today.
It's out now.
Yeah.
I haven't started watching it. I didn't rush to watch it. I knew that I would just watch it today during my off time. This is not the Snyder cut, so I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. I'm not going to break myself to watch it. I'm going to go to my LCS first, but I do want to lay down my thoughts, predictions, expectations in a hard format, so we can see if they come true. My thoughts is it's not going to be a good movie. Do I expect it to be a good movie? No. Do I want it to be a good movie? No. What do I mean by a good movie? For me, I've been a movie guy my whole life. I ran a video store for 4 years before like the media started phasing out to more streaming and digital stuff. And there's a difference between a good movie and a fun movie. You know, one of my favorite directors is Roger Corman. He's famously known for making bad movies, but they are so fun. They're so enjoyable. And so I don't expect this to be good. It's not going to impress anyone with the acting, the screenplay, none of that stuff, but it's not supposed to. This is a video game fight, murder, death movie. So as long as they don't try to make a good movie, I think they're going to be capable of making a fun movie that everyone can enjoy and watch over and over again. I think it's going to check off all the boxes for the new video game people. I don't play new video games, but I can tell from the trailer they're leaning into some of that stuff. But I expect to enjoy it. I hope that it's violent. I hope that they don't miss out on too many opportunities trying to bring in this new character who doesn't have anything to do with the video game. I hope they play that smart where they use him as our focal point so that we don't make a Liu Kang movie or we don't make a Sonya Blade movie. And those characters are supporting cast where if you've been a fan of one or the other character, you feel like it really paid an even amount of screen time to all these different characters. But I think I'll like it. I don't think it'll be, like I said, good, but I think it'll be fun.
I'm we're gonna watch it this afternoon. My 12-year-old is incredibly excited for it. We watched the first 7 minutes of it the other day, and that's literally all I've seen. I've never seen a trailer for it other than at the end of that 7 minutes they kind of show a couple of scenes, and get over here, and then watch it on the 23rd. But I haven't seen any of the trailers, so I don't know what the rest of the movie looks like or anything like that. I haven't seen any images. So I really don't know. Other than that 7 minutes, I don't know. In that 7 minutes, yeah, the acting was a little, I don't know, it was a little stiff. I wasn't super impressed with the acting, but I did like the amount of lore and the way that they built everything in. And it's going to be interesting to see how the movie plays out because despite the fact that it's Mortal Kombat and it's tied to a video game franchise, I really haven't seen any cross promotion, and I don't think that I don't think there's another Mortal Kombat on the horizon right now. They just released number 11 or whatever, a year or two ago, but it definitely seems like this is a movie that they're trying to kind of build a franchise, like a movie franchise out of, more so than just something that's derivative of the video game, So I'm interested to see where they take it. Like I said, I think the acting was a little stiff, but if they can build some good lore into it and give us good action scenes, I think it'll be all right. It'll be a good time.
Yeah. And see, I hope people don't go in with overhyped expectations for a movie of this. You know what I mean? Keep in mind, it's a video game movie. It's meant to be ultra violent, just fight movie, kind of like Godzilla versus Kong. People are like, it was okay. The human parts weren't that good. They're not supposed to be. This is a giant monster fight movie. The human part is only meant to get us to the next fight. What?
Thanks.
Did you actually need help? You're sitting there laughing. I thought you were hiding from him or something.
No, I
And it slid on you? I thought you were doing something intentional over there.
No.
You were laughing an awful lot to honestly need help. My
Yeah.
wife was running around the house hiding from my son, and she went to hide in the corner of the ottoman, and the ottoman slid, and she was crushed in the corner. Finn came running around, and I was all excited, like, "Oh, you catch her this way, buddy. She can't move it back that fast." That's tough.
Yeah, Lee's interview was awesome.
Yeah,
that was great stuff.
That was Melina, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and the guy that's playing Sub-Zero signed up for more Mortal Kombat movies. Like, I don't doubt it because I think like Mortal Kombat itself, especially at this point in the game franchise, there's enough lore in there to keep you interested, to like
Yeah.
have just enough going on in the background to make all the fighting really fun and interesting, you know?
I
And
wonder if from here we'll see him try to branch off and focus on character movies. Because you know the old Mortal Kombat movie, like the first one they did, how like Liu Kang was our main focus piece for the
uh-huh.
plot narrative. You know, even though there's other characters, I wonder if we could expect something like that, like how they're using this new character as the plot mover. You know, I wonder if we can expect the kind of this to be like an introduction to the world to everyone around him, and an excuse to focus on other characters and sequel movies or tie-in movies. Like that could be a self-contained universe in itself with so many characters
Hmm.
and so many backstories and everything. So that would
Yeah.
possibly be pretty cool.
The one thing I will say is if you have something like Mortal Kombat is very focused on the fighting, right? And the lore is generally just there to like kind of give you a background on the character. So to me, like they need if I was gonna do a Mortal Kombat movie franchise, it would be Mortal Kombat movies and maybe focus on different characters in each movie versus something like Street Fighter where you could have them on an adventure going out and like doing things and make it more like a fighting adventure movie, so I do hope that like Mortal Kombat doesn't go in the direction of doing like solo movie spin-offs and stuff. Like I don't want a Sub-Zero movie. I don't think that's interesting. I think you
It
need
looks
the
like they're
full
going to focus
cast of
heavily
characters.
on that story in this one already. Well, even if you have like the Sub-Zero focused movie, that's a bad example because this story really goes into a lot of history versus like
Hmm.
plot that's on the main timeline. That's super cute. I like the stars. But if you grab a different character, for example, like if you take Sonya Blade and try to do a story with her, that automatically includes Kano. That automatically includes Jax. You know, you get
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
characters
it's
with
always going to
most.
have to be an ensemble movie.
Yeah, like if you don't want to make a Jax movie, just make a Sonya movie. He comes with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, whereas like Street Fighter, I feel like they could do more solo stuff with those characters because there's more like action adventure in that world. But Mortal Kombat, I hope they just stick with like Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, and change the character focus instead of like trying to do all these like branching universe bending things.
Yeah, I was about to mention the Street Fighter Legend of Chung Li movie where they got the the what is it, like the West Coast brunette American girl to play the Asian Chung Li, who had like Asian parents in the movie and everything.
Yeah. The same thing in Dragon Ball
Random.
Evolution. Like this stuff makes no sense
Hollywood
sometimes.
lost their mind for that little 3 to 5 year early
Yeah, there was
2000s.
like a whole era there where it
Yeah.
was just like, what are y'all doing?
No one will notice. Everyone noticed. But yeah, well, like I said, I'm off schedule today, and I don't want to talk too much stuff. I don't know what your schedule looks like, but it is Friday. That means that Ryan will be doing a live show this afternoon. Normally, is that still on
Hmm.
your slate for today?
Yep. I just set up the whole stream and everything so y'all can go and hit that reminder button.
If you have the link, feel free to drop it in the chat. You are
That's
a
what I was about to look
moderator.
for.
But what time are you doing that? So I can try to. Because I'm assuming
3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern.
Yeah. So I'm assuming I'm invited. I like to
Yeah.
think that I'm invited.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
going to
was
try
going-
to make sure. I'm going to try to make sure that I can. I'm not going to try to. I'm going to make sure the things that I'm doing I schedule around that.
Yeah, the only thing I've read so far
Wait
this
a minute.
week
Wait a
is
minute.
the
Wait a
DC
minute.
stuff.
You need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Slot it up. You need to make sure you specify Avatar or Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Neither was good. I don't think he needs to
Come
specify.
on. Come on, man. I'm a huge fan of Avatar.
I'm a huge fan of the White Savior.
I'm not painting myself. He turned blue. It's the blue savior.
He had to turn blue so it wouldn't be the white savior.
That's the secret. Yeah, no, I'm not crazy about either. The only reason that I like Avatar is, for one, it wasn't a bad movie. For two, I love sci-fi movies. Three, that you can see the money and the technology, and where James Cameron pushes the industry, you can see it on screen what he does. And it's a live action Fern Gully, and I love Fern Gully.
Yeah.
He said
Yeah, I mean,
Last Airbender.
Avatar wasn't like horrible, but
Which one?
it also wasn't good. The Last Airbender, it doesn't even exist to me at this
All
point.
right, I never watched the animated show for The Last Airbender.
What?
I didn't, dude. I just
What
wasn't.
is wrong with you?
Look, dude, when it comes to me, like anything cartoon, especially growing up, if it didn't have superheroes in it, I wasn't there. It wasn't like I avoided it or ignored it. It just wasn't on my radar. Like, people don't realize how much actual comic book animated movie shows we had all the way from the early 90s to now. And I was on top of all of them, even as a kid. I watched all of them. So I didn't have time to watch everything else. Not when I'm clocking in hours with the Marvel Action Hour. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but Avatar was something special.
Yeah, I don't doubt it whatsoever. But I did not see the animated show, and I watched the movie. I could tell that it was definitely aimed more for kids. I couldn't tell you what it hit right, what it missed on, how bad it missed. But I will tell you that the end of the movie,
The Last Airbender, it missed on every single possible element that exists within any kind of created content ever.
Oh, that's wild. So just watching it with zero context, at the end of it, when he finally went full power and he's up on the wall, just sitting there doing his moves, and he's bringing the big wave up. And when he does that front kick, my dude, he has that huge that wall of water, and he just does the little front kick, and it's like he just kicks it. Dude, my hands go up every time I watch it. I'm like, oh! So I love that. I love it to death. Man, it was for me, again, having no context and not throughout the movie being like, oh man. Like that moment, I'm like, dude, this kid is on fire right now. Like he is finally, he is centered, and man, it was cool to me. So I wasn't a victim of that. So I was just a general audience watching a kids movie. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, oh my God, that movie was such a problem.
Thank you, Steve. Blue Avatar was fun. It was really good.
I didn't find it fun. I thought visually it was impressive. Like, I saw it in theaters with the full 3D and stuff. Like, visually, that movie, I mean, it hit the mark completely. As far as like the story and all the garbage going on inside the movie, I was less than interested.
All right, everybody, make sure you hit this link in the chat. Hit that reminder. Ryan will be going live at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Imaginary, and the farther you go west, the Imaginary gets by 1 hour. So I think that's like what 1:30 Unicorn time.
I just realized how early that is on the other side.
So you can take the words "on the Last Airbender" out of this sentence, and it still rings true.
No, right? Oh my God, I hate Shyamalan.
Dude, I love The Sixth Sense. Signs was amazing, and then after that, what's happening? Man. Unbreakable is probably his best movie, and I forgot that he made that. Yeah. He did.
I mean, The Sixth Sense was awesome, but Unbreakable just like blew me away. And then Signs was pretty strong most of the movie.
Ooh, I love it.
Kind of.
You could bore me for 7 hours straight, and you throw that one scene in with the home footage of that alien just walking over, and dude, that was insane. Like, you just played that movie right. The tone, the feel, all of it. But now that you mention it with Unbreakable, Split was really good.
I still haven't seen that one.
Dude, that was good. And then when he brought all those into a cohesive world with Glass, where he had David from Unbreakable, Sam Jackson from Unbreakable, and Professor X from Split, that was not bad. And he plays all three different movies way different from each other, like the tone, the style, everything about it. So they stand as their own, but it was cool because you're in an insane asylum with the three of them, and the way that he uses color patterns for everything, and he just did good with it.
Yeah, Lady in the Water, that movie was all over the place.
Yeah, I spent a whole summer of my life trying to work one arm out to try to see if I could do what the Guardian guy did. You know how he only did reps one arm, and it was like 5 times bigger than the other arm. I couldn't do it. I tried. Yeah, it was very weird, but yeah. So he I think like his imagination and his storytelling capability is well beyond his movie making capability. You know, I bet if you sit down with him around a campfire and you just enjoy storytelling, I bet he would be the guy to hang out with. But sometimes those stories just don't translate. Like the verbal medium doesn't always translate into the visual medium, and especially with the
Yeah.
time restraints and everything. But I think that he's definitely a very creative and imaginative person, and
Hmm.
I don't think he's not talented. It's just hard to bring some of what he's got in there to life in the
Yeah.
same way.
Well, I think he also finds. I think he thinks his ideas are a little stronger than they are sometimes.
Yeah.
Like The Happening. I'm
What's
sure
that?
on I'm sure on paper, if you looked at like the ending of The Happening and stuff and the revelations, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds pretty cool." But then you watch the movie and it's like the biggest letdown ever, you know.
Yeah, like the
And
ending.
so I think
The
like some
first
of
time
his
you watch it,
ideas
it's
are
wicked.
not as strong as he thinks they are.
The first time you watch it, it's really wicked. Like not the whole movie, but when you're starting it off and people are just stepping
Yeah,
off buildings and
when that dude like
people are
jumps
just
off that
driving.
thing and like lands
Yeah,
on the spike, like oh my
yeah.
god,
Or when they're driving the car and then they just go into a tree. And then
yeah,
you find out, especially living here in the South, like you get three-quarters of the way through the movie, you're like, dude, these people are just sensitive to pollen. This is crazy. We deal with that every
yeah.
year.
Bad allergy, I know, right?
Yeah, we deal with pollen every year. We don't do that.
And I agree with what you said. Like Lady in the Water, Shyamalan claims that that's a like a bedtime story that's been running through his family, and he kind of tells it to his kids, and so he turned it into a movie. I could totally see how that premise works as like a bedtime story that you tell your kids, or or something you tell around a campfire. But when you put it to film and people can track visually what's going on, it just
Mhm.
like completely falls apart and looks stupid.
Well, and also you got to think like if that is a bedtime story and it's been in his family, it's very personal. It has all this extra meaning. They've probably explored every avenue of that story in grave detail. We don't have that shared experience,
Yeah.
Like it's like reading crossover 1 through 6 and not being hardlined in Donnie Cates lore. It's. I mean, I get it. It's like I see the story, but I'm not
Yeah, you
getting
don't
it
get
on
the
the
feels and all
emotional.
the
Yeah.
the beats. Yeah,
In like
we're
Shyamalan
talking about
and
Shyamalamalan.
Shyamalan. We're not going to get canceled for saying his last name like that, are we?
I don't know. I don't
I
care.
don't know.
Try to cancel me over Shyamalan. I dare you.
I think everyone's tried to cancel Shyamalan because of the movies he's put
Don't he
out.
have a show on like HBO or Apple TV or something right now?
I couldn't speak on Apple TV, but dude, I've seen like I'm aware of it. I'm more than familiar with it. But the only thing Apple TV exclusive I've ever seen trailers for or anything like that for is some movie about World War II ships or something. I think it had like
Mm,
Tom Hanks as a captain of a boat. I'm not even
that's
sure. I
Captain
don't
Phillips, bro.
no, not that boat, a different
A different boat.
the captain. Yeah, but yeah,
I've watched Mystic Quest
I'm not
because
sure what that
my
is.
my wife is an iPhone user, so they give you like a year free of Apple TV every time you buy a new Apple device that year. So she always gets the new iPhone, so of course we have Apple TV. I haven't watched any of their stuff other than Mystic Quest, which is it's the guy that created It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He plays Mac on there. It's
Yeah, Rob McElhenney and
yeah. He it's his show on Apple
Rickety Cricket
TV.
is surprisingly one of the writers for that show. He's big in
Mm-hmm.
the production side. Rickety
Yeah.
Cricket is the funniest thing about that show. Just the
Oh yeah.
the
What's his
de-evolution.
name? David I can't think of his last name.
McKinney or something. But those
But
guys
he's
are.
married to Emily Deschanel.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. He's
Emily or
a
Zoe?
production powerhouse. Emily,
Emily or
the one from Bones.
okay, I didn't know. I know who Zoe Deschanel is, the actress. I thought she was married to the lead singer of Death Cab for Cutie.
I'm pretty sure they're divorced now, but they were.
Wow, way to bring a negative to a positive, man. It made
He's an
sense because
alcoholic.
they're both he's an alcoholic. Yeah, people need love too, Craig. Cricket is the
Yeah.
best. Well, yeah, we just showed like like you see those like those little photos of like people's mugshots over the years as they like devolve through their lives and drug and crime and everything. Just take Rickety Cricket's photo from each season.
Yeah.
You get the same thing all the way down to the burn.
In the beginning,
scars.
he was a pastor. He's
He
like
was
all
a-
clean. He's got like
yeah,
his
preacher.
little collar and everything, and then now he's got like a half melted face
and
and
a big scar on his neck from taking the trash can.
the
to
trash
neck.
can.
He was so pumped. He got in that ring and he started wrecking. And Frank just pins him.
Oh my god, I love that
Yeah,
show.
I think Dee out of all of them, like she sounds like the voice of reason so often, but she's probably the most broken one out of all of them. You look like a bird.
Note 25G.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Android all day. I cannot fucking stand Apple.
I agree, Nick. Yes, Nick. A lot of Nick.
And if it
You gotta
wasn't
keep
for
it
Mystic
sexy.
Quest, I would never touch
don't
Apple
eat.
TV. Got to keep it sexier. We don't eat. Hips and nips. Hips and nips.
The nips. Yeah. Oh.
Garbage man. I eat garbage. Blah, 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 blah.
All right, well, I am going to hop off here. Been on here for 46 minutes, and it's already 9:49. My comic shop opens at 10. My wife's getting ready to get the kids dressed, and I haven't even started doing anything yet. So
Yeah.
gonna get
I
at
got to
it
run some
today.
errands, and the only thing I've read this week so far is all the DC books I was waiting for. So I got a lot of reading to do before this afternoon.
It was a smaller haul week for DC and Marvel everything across the board, smaller week. But it was some solid reads so far. I haven't read Superman Red and Blue #2 yet, which first one sucks, second one might be better. We'll see. Different writers and artists are on it, but Flash happy with, and whatever else I read, I was happy with. That was just the most recent one I read. Oh, Justice League was. At least the Justice League Dark was. But anyways, we'll talk about that another time, like spoiler-free, talk about some of that later. Yep. All right, guys. Be sure to check out New Guys channel, 4:30 Eastern time. Pre-weeks in, spoiler-free show. And yeah, until next time, guys, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.